everybody, thrilled to have you here for this video. This is going to be a full-on guide to the Up & Up brushes that are available at Target. Up & Up is the store brand. You've probably seen everything from skincare items to cleaning items in that store with that brand on them, and they actually have makeup brushes that are store brand as well. Now, I first discovered these brushes when they were packaged this way, all black on the handles, and I have a couple of eye brushes like this. I also have this kind of foundation brush in that style. And more recently, like within the past year or so, they've kind of given their brushes a makeover. They've come up with lots of different styles of brushes. And here and there in my videos, I've talked about really liking certain ones, but I thought it might be most useful, and a lot of you had requested that I just do a whole video on all of the ones that I have. And actually for today's makeup application, I used all of these brushes so I could cut to some demos and you could really see them working. And while I do love some of these, and some of these are like my favorite brushes in my whole collection, there are others that I don't really think are necessary, so I'll be pointing that out as well. So I'm just going to start off with the first logical one that you might use on your face, and this is called the Complexion brush. This was the brush that I did a full video on this channel. I think I called it Affordable Brush Rave. This is a really, really great buffing foundation brush. If you like those really dense, soft Sigmax brushes from Sigma, I think those are great, but this is definitely an affordable option that gives you that similar look. It's super soft, it's really dense. All of these brushes in this line seem to have this kind of two-tone synthetic bristle going on, and I just think this brush is really ideal for liquid consistency foundations. Today I used it with the IT Cosmetics CC cream, and it's just really nice for buffing that in. I have some brushes in this style that are just really, really tight, and the brush hairs don't have much of a chance to really spread. This really blends nicely all across the skin, but if you want to make this double up as an under eye concealer brush, it can dab over that area nicely and just really work to maintain a lot of the coverage of the concealer you're using as well. This has been and continues to be one of my top Up & Up brushes that I've tried. I have heard from so many people tagging me on Instagram and on Snapchat saying they got this brush and they love it, so it's definitely gotten rave reviews from a lot of you all as well. Now, another thing that they have available is a concealer brush duo, and these are kind of more comparable to the Sigmax Precision brushes. Up & Up has this duo available. One of them is cut at a very slight angle, and the other one has kind of a dome tip to it. The cut on these is not so crazy harsh or different that I feel like, oh, I can only use this one for certain things and then I have to pick up this one. You know, they're really, I think, kind of interchangeable. So they're nice from that standpoint because you could be using one and you get it dirty and you set that aside to be clean, and then it's like you have an automatic backup to use. But today I just put on some MAC Pro Longwear concealer and I dabbed it out with the one that's a little more flat, and I think it just works really great for that. These would be nice for like spot concealing over a blemish and just tapping over your concealer. These are small enough to get right around, you know, the inner corner of your eye area, so I think these are really handy. Now the next little task would be setting the under eye, and that's where this comes in. This is actually the Complexion brush set. If this sounds a little bit familiar, I did review this whole set on the Express channel already. But if I refer at any point in this video to a brush coming from the set, this is the set that I'm talking about. And in this set, there's a foundation brush that's flat, a very typical concealer brush that's also flat. And these are the two where, you know, I know some people like these kinds of brushes. This can even be nice to pat out your concealer. But the two rock stars of this collection are this nice, full angled brush, which is great for contouring, and this little guy who has really emerged as a stud of my brush collection. This is great for setting the under eye area. It fits in there. It's not too big, not too small, but also it's great for a very spotlighted highlight application, as you will see. Since I'm just one person sitting here and I can't demonstrate every foundation brush under the sun, these you will not see demoed, but I thought those are a very classic style that a lot of you are familiar with, so they're nice quality, they're really nice and soft. I gotta admit, I'm not reaching for these all the time. Still, I do think this group of brushes is completely worthwhile for these two. So the smaller one, as I said, you know, I just tap into whatever powder I want to use. I can easily and quickly set the under eye area. If you just like to have, you know, a little bit lighter or brighter powder on your face to spotlight different areas, this is just great for that. It's like just a miniature size of the Up & Up blush brush. If you have that, if you're familiar with that, this is just the mini. Now, if you guys hear some noises, I've got somebody somebody playing nearby, so just a heads up. For powder, what are we going to do with powder? There is a powder brush in this line. I picked it up. I really didn't think I needed it, and sometimes, you know, your opinion changes, like you finally get something home and you start using it and you realize, oh my gosh, why did I wait? Well, I don't really feel that way about this. I still don't really think I need this brush. This is a very nice quality, very soft, full powder brush, but to me, it just feels so big. I'm not saying it can't apply the powder well, or maybe apply some bronzer really nicely, or might even be nice, you know, as a body type brush. Honestly, that might be how I end up using this. But for all over the face, I just don't find myself wanting something quite this large. I really think for face powders, I've gotten so used to using my e.l.f. Complexion brush, which if you see those two side by side, it's really like about half as full. So I don't know, personal preference, if you really like a full, super fluffy powder brush, there is one in this line. But what I actually used for my powder today is this retractable brush. This, in comparison size-wise to this one, this is much more my speed. It's really soft, it's not crazy dense, so there is just tons of movement with this brush, and I think you'll find you can make this be a lot of different things for you. If you want this to be your contour type product, just slide up the little slider, hold on right there where it connects. This could easily go in as a contour. This could be blush. Seriously, if you're on the go a lot, you need something to throw in your purse, or you're just trying to downsize the amount of things you're taking with you brush-wise as you travel, this would be a great one. And it's great for powder. I just used a light dusting of my IT Cosmetics powder all over my face. I also used this for my bronzer. I used my Too Faced Beach Bunny bronzer, and this is just the perfect size. You get nice diffused light application, but you still have some control. And if you watched my Happy Little Makeup Things video, the satisfaction of the retractable brush. For contouring, we're going back to one of the blushes from the set, and this is this really great full angled brush. I'm primarily using this for contouring. I think it's great, but just a little secret, if you wanted to use this as like a foundation type buffing brush and you prefer more of an angle as opposed to this kind of style in the Complexion brush, you might like it for that too. It's worth a try. I mean, these are nice, again, synthetic bristles, work great for liquids and creams, but I used this as a contour for this video with my e.l.f. contouring kit. It's just the perfect size to fit right in there, you know, right in the hollow of the cheek. I kind of like to apply the product and then buff in circular motions. It's so dense, it's so soft, it just feels heavenly on the face. I am proud to say that my absolute favorite blush brush in my entire collection is from the Up and Up line. It looks like this. It's, like I said, the mama and the baby version here of that little under eye slash highlight brush. They're the exact same cut and style. One's just bigger than the other. And this is just ideal for powder blushes. It's a really nice taper, not too big, not too small. I used it with my Frat Boy blush today, and just it's a perfect application of powder blush every time. It's really nicely tapered a long way down the side. So when you're tapping into your blush, you know, you're usually using somewhat of the side of a brush. You're not always just going boom, like straight down in. You're kind of going in like this, and so it just sweeps on really nicely. From the set, this is the brush we also used as under eye setting powder. I find this is really nice if you want that nice concentrated highlighted look on the cheeks. Some people might go for a very soft and diffused highlight, in which case you might use the blush brush for that, but if you really want the highlight to stand out, this brush is really good for that. And today I used my Becca Champagne Pop by Jaclyn Hill highlight, and with this I've kind of been back and forth on this product because I thought I didn't love the application I got when I used like my Sigma F35, but I'm really liking it with a smaller brush like this. So just dab it right over the tops of the cheekbones. This can easily go down the nose with highlight as well. It's just a really nice controlled size, and it's just funny how different brushes work well with different products, and over time you uncover different little combinations. And that highlight is so interesting because I thought when I swatched it, I thought, oh, that's really intense, and then I thought I was using brushes that were a little bit larger with it, and it was lacking a little something on my cheeks. But I think a smaller brush with that product like this is definitely the answer. So that's pretty much going to do it for face brushes, and I do have an eye brush duo from Up and Up. This contains two really similar brushes. One just has a little bit longer bristles that have a little more give and a little more movement to them, and one is more of a flat type brush, the kind you might use for packing on product or smudging. Up and Up does have an eye brush set, and they don't have like the same type of brush hairs as these. They're more like traditional brownish looking brushes, and it really didn't appeal to me at all. I knew I really wasn't gonna like it because they seem pretty oversized to me. I just don't like using massive brushes for my eyes, and if that means using these smaller ones and then pulling in one of my own blending brushes, that's fine by me. But what I did for today's look, I actually worked in one of my caviar sticks from Laura Mercier. The lovely Kristen Game gave me this one in amethyst, and it's just beautiful on the lids. It instantly makes my eyes look greener. And then I use the larger of these two brushes to sort of blend that out. These are great with cream shadow type products, and I can kind of push it up into the crease a little bit more. I also use the slightly larger brush with the warm brown from my Becca Ombre Rouge palette and kind of blended that up into the crease and just above, and it's really nice for controlled application like that. And then, like I said, I do bring in my own blending brush to get more of a buffed out edge, apply my highlight. Then I brought in this smaller brush with one of my ColourPop shades. This is from Danny's collection. It's a shade called Hope, kind of an iridescent pink, and I use that for a little bit of a pop on the lids just to show you. I mean, this brush works really well with ColourPop eyeshadows. Those are kind of an interesting different texture, and fingers can work fine, but some people just prefer to use brushes, so these would work well with those. And then I smudged a little bit of that deep plummy brown shade from the Becca palette on the under eye with the smaller of the two brushes. Finished off the look with my brows, my mascara, my lip product, which is the Too Faced Melted Metal in Melted Metallic Jelly. There are a couple of other things I just want to note here. One thing I've talked about a lot is this round foundation brush. It's called round because instead of being pinched up here at the top, the ferrule is totally round, and I have talked about using this a lot as a nice little concealer tap-in product. Well, now I can't find this anymore on Target's website. I'm glad I checked before doing this video. It may be one of those things where you can still find it in stores, but it's just not on the website any longer. Maybe they're phasing it out, which I don't think is a good idea, but who knows. Again, I have this in the old style of packaging. It is now packaged like this, so if you do happen to find it in the store, it will have this kind of a handle on it. Also, I had gotten this cute little Up and Up travel brush set. Look at the handles on these. Is this not totally adorable? I mean, I think those are so cute. There's this small, like mini blush brush size, which can work for blush. There's a little angled brush that you could maybe use for eyeliner or even brow product perhaps. And then there's this little kind of fluffy, kind of reminds me of my Sigma E25 type brush, but maybe not quite as full, that you could use for shadow all over the lid or maybe into the crease. This is really a nice little set. I've tried plenty of like mini brush sets and they're just way too small to use. You know, I like that even the face brush is definitely something where, okay, I could see myself applying blush with that or highlight. I know because I have. So if you need some teeny tiny on-the-go brushes, these are out there. These are the same nice quality and feel as the other ones, just a little bit smaller. Now here's the hard part where we get to the end and I have to say, okay, what are the total must-haves? If I had to pick like two must-haves from this whole Up and Up brush line, like most valuable brushes, it would probably have to be the Complexion brush and the blush brush. I just think these are really great at what they do. This can kind of double as a little bit of a concealer brush, which is nice. This could double as your highlight brush if you wanted it to. It could easily contour as well. It's just a great size. It's such a solid blush brush. So those two are really, really awesome. And you got my impressions on these other brushes really all throughout the video as I've been talking. But a close second or third, I guess, to these two would be this Complexion brush set. I really think, even though I don't find myself using these flat ones all that much, but I know some people might love that kind of style. I really adore the angled brush and now this smaller like highlight type brush. I wish they just sold them individually, or maybe these two would be a nice little duo on their own. Not that anybody from Target's listening, but I really like these two and I do think they are worth the cost of the whole set. So guys, that's my review on what I believe is almost the entire Up and Up brush collection. Just all of the brushes in this kind of two-tone style of brush hair that's offered at Target. Just a classic hidden gem type product. You know, I have nothing to do with Target or Up and Up. There's no collaboration happening here. This is just one of those great situations where you stumble across something awesome in the drugstore, you keep trying it and buying it, and here I am just telling you my thoughts on it. So thank you guys so much for taking time to watch. Thanks for requesting this video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.